and welcome to yet another episode of The Grind with me, your host Hibak Said. And today we're going to be talking about some of the challenges that a lot of businesses face, especially when they're importing their raw materials or when they're importing products for sale. Before we look into the entrepreneur of the day and look at the business capital and even insights from our analysts, first let's look at the market margins.
Today on Market Margins, a trader, depending on their choice of goods, may either locally produce or import products to sell to customers. For merchants looking to import, the government has set out guidelines and policies to streamline this process. These guidelines usually change over time and are enforced by government agencies like the Kenya Revenue Authority on duties and taxes for each type of product brought into the country. So how does one import? According to KRA, duties and taxes must be levied on any imported and exported goods before releasing them from customs, except when goods are qualifying for special privilege, which qualify for exemption. Some goods such as cars and machinery require the engagement of a customs clearing agent. Nevertheless, you must have an import declaration form, a customs declaration form, a certificate of conformity from the PBOC agent for regulated products, an import standards mark when applicable, a valid commercial invoice from the exporting firm, and a valid pro forma invoice from the exporting firm. The customs clearing agent is then allowed to declare the goods you are importing on the customs portal known as SIMBA. And what are the documents required when importing goods? Well, to clear any imported goods such as a car, machinery, or even general merchandise. Sometimes one requires the engagement of a licensed customs clearing agent. When engaging with your preferred clearing agent, ensure you always provide importation documents. Some of them may include, and are not limited to, a certificate of conformity, an import standards mark when applicable, a valid pro forma invoice from the exporting firm, a bill of lading for sea cargo, or an airway bill for air cargo, a certificate of origin, a freight invoice for sea cargo, logbook and its translations if it's not in English for motor vehicles, a permit or license for restricted goods, a personal or taxpayer identification number, an exemption letter in case goods are exempted, a purchase order or contract certificates of roadworthiness for motor vehicles, a packing list for a container, and a letter of credit if available.
And those are some of the facts and details that you need to know before we delve with our entrepreneur of the day. And we are at the Central Business District where we will be featuring the intricacies of importation of electronics. We already have one such business person. We want to know what exactly their journey has been and what exactly they have had to go through, especially when it comes to importation. You could just start by introducing yourself. What is your name? What is the name of your business?
My name is Mwema, CEO Brimat Ventures Ltd. And we are importers of laptops and desktops and accessories.
Running a tech shop. What exactly gave you the idea to go into this particular sector? What was the brainwork behind starting such a business?
Let me say I was just hustling in Nairobi, and then I came across a friend who was doing the same job. Because I have done hospitality, that is my passion. And I started very small. I started by being a broker. I used to go to a shop, stand there. Maybe I learn what they have, and then go around, market what they have. And that's how I built my empire.
Of course, there are a lot of certifications and permits and paperwork that goes into coming up with a business like this and ensuring a business like this is, of course, okay with the government. What are some of the permits that you have had to take? What was your journey?
Let me say Kenya is one of the best places to do business. That one I can say for sure that there are not very many permits that are not affordable. what you only need in the central business is the license that you get from the county government. And then you must cover your business with fire documents. And then also garbage. And then also maybe you can get certificates from HP, Dell, Microsoft. They can give you certificates to be able to operate. But that one mainly unless you're doing supplies.
Now importation. Importation has its own challenges and its own benefits. And of course there are these new levies that have come in. Before these new levies, how was the importation? Like, what was the process?
Let me say it was not hard. Not very hard. First before I joined importation, I was doing in bunches. I was just buying locally. Then I partnered one of my partners in the US. He's the one who sources the product for us. And then he sends to us. Importation, before it was not that hard. Until the government now started putting in place, setting up for business people. So nowadays you're required to have a number of documents for you to do that. But we are trying.
What are some of these documents that you have to pay for, and how is it different? What is the price range?
Of course, your machines have to be inspected from the origin. So they have to do inspection from the origin. From the US, they have agents. KEBS, they have agents. And then they issue the landing documents so that you can be able to clear other ports.
Let's talk about the export levy. Recently it was hiked, the new finance bill, with a lot of many other things. What has this price difference? What has it done to your business?
Let me say mainly because we are dealing with ex-US products that are used, the laptops, the desktops, as you can see, mainly they are not new. The levies have really increased the prices of the product because of course when the levies go up, you have to change your prices. Because most of this has to go to the government. And then the tax, we are taxed. We sell, these things are taxable. So I can say, before we thought when we are bringing these XUK products that we are covering for the middle class and people who are not able to buy any products. But nowadays it's also becoming a bit tough because many people may not be able to afford the laptop or maybe the desktop because the prices have gone high.
On matters logistics, right? There's of course your goods, you've already bought them from the country of origin, you brought them into the country. There's the matter of clearance. What is the clearance process like for a person who's still new?
Clearing process most of the time we normally have agents. I think it's easier when you have an agent who's doing the same. As long as you give them the documents, they are able to do the clearing for you. So, but during clearance, they have to do 100% check inspection nowadays. You have to open the whole container, put everything down, they inspect everything, and then they close it so that they can also be able to bill you. So it's a bit tough because like for a whole container, you can imagine a whole container of desktops and laptops. It takes time, a day or two.
And the previous regimes were being taxed in kilos, so they used to weigh them and then you be told how much you're supposed to pay in taxation. But now it's per item. What does that mean for a business?
It's tough. You have to be taxed every single item. So every single item has to incur the VAT. So what happens if the price changes? Of course, when we are affected, the customer is also, it trickles down to the end user. But if the government can be able to balance all that, it's easy for the government to get their money and us to work for them.
And knowing now all of these challenges that you're facing, how has that affected your sales one? And what are some of the solutions that you're taking up to improve costs?
It has been a challenge because changing prices does not really come well with the customers. They always complain, today you're selling this, now tomorrow the prices have gone up. I think also the dollar has also affected. You know, we buy in dollar. It has also affected our prices. And so the sales go down. We are affected. Now we are affected like 60% of our sales. We have gone down. Because it takes a long time for customers to accept that the prices are changing. And remember, they are affected twice. With the dollar going up, and also now with the levies going up. So you can imagine the effect. So it is taking us tough for us to explain to the customers also. You have to explain to them for them to understand. Yeah.
And finally, say I'm a business person who wants to start a particular business. Of course, there are all of these challenges. How would you tell me to take up, to make this journey easier?
I normally say, when you determine to do something, nothing should. No matter the difficulties, no matter the challenges, you should be ready to face the challenges. So it's not that difficult for you to start a business. I always tell people, your business starts here in the mind. And then you go down, you look for money, the capital. Again, you don't have to start very big. I've told you I started in a very small shop, very small shop. I didn't have stock. I started by brokerage. I could come to your shop, borrow two machines, put them on the shelves. When the customer comes, I run. So it starts in the mind. So many people feel like when you're starting a business, you must have a lot of money. No. Let it start with your mind first. And then look, get the small money you have. See how you can be able to multiply the money. So in Kenya, I've told you again, we are very lucky. It's very easy to start a business in Kenya. You only need to identify a place, a shop, a physical shop, or even if you don't want to start with a physical shop, there is online marketing. Nowadays, we are doing very well in Kenya with online. You can start online and then you look for a physical shop. And then you look for people like us who can supply to you. Yeah, and then come give you good prices. Yeah.
From retailing to even supplying that is our story for the day, our grind of the week. Of course, a lot of businesses can take this advice and see how exactly they can use it. But we might as well see what our analyst is going to say about it.
Mahakama Kuu yatoa amri kusimamisha kwa muda mipango ya Kenya kutuma jeshi la polisi Haiti.
Tutafuata ardhi zote ambazo zimechukuliwa kiholela na kutumia ujanja na zitarudi kwa wananchi.
Tume ya EACC yapiga hatua kubwa katika vita dhidi ya rushwa.
Shughuli nyingi sana za kitamaduni zimefeli miaka karibu 20 mpaka sasa.
Na msukumo mpya wa kuwa na nyuso halisi katika mapambano ya changamoto za afya ya akili katika jamii.
Mental well-being is a need that we all have and it does not discriminate.
It is now easier to report and surrender. Visit www.uaa.go.ke and get started. Beat the November 1st deadline. It is your turn to surrender and report qualifying unclaimed financial assets. Tunavuma na bado.
Welcome back. This is The Grind with me, your host, Saeed. Before we went on a very short break, we were looking into entrepreneurship and importing of goods, some of the challenges that were faced by our entrepreneur, and now we delve into the business capital.
On business capital. So what are the duties and taxes applicable? Well, taxes of course are payable depending on the value of the imported item or items and the duty rate applicable. According to the Kenya Revenue Authority, one must pay import duties depending on the item to be imported. The import tax rates vary between 0%, 10%, and 25% as provided by the East Africa Community Common External Tariff. However, sensitive items attract duty higher than 25%. The sensitive items are listed in the Schedule 2 of the EAC Common External Tariff. Excise duties must be paid depending on whether the imported item is excisable or not. The excise duty rates are prescribed under the Excise Duty Act of 2015. Number 3, value-added tax. The normal rate of VAT is 16%. However, the items exempted from VAT, as provided by the VAT Act of 2013, attract a rate of 0%. The import declaration fees and railway development levy, which are 3.5% and 2% respectively, on value of imports as provided by the Miscellaneous Fees and Levies Act of 2016. Thereafter, you go through the goods clearance process, which requires an IDF lodgement and processing paper, where the importer, on obtaining the pro forma invoice, shall engage a licensed clearing agent to lodge an import declaration form. The importer should then send the IDF to the supplier for pre-shipment inspection and entry declaration, payment of taxes and processing paper. The appointed clearing agent should make a customs declaration and provide the importer with a payment slip. The importer makes the payment to the bank and issues the agent with official bank slips. Then customs shall process all compliant declarations. Number 3, verification and other enforcement measures, where the agent should present the physical file at the customs station, where the goods are domiciled, where physical verification is conducted, and a clearance and release form, where upon verification, all compliant declarations are cleared and released. So how much do you pay? Customs duty levied on importation can go as high as 100%, but is at an average of 25%. Sensitive items usually attract rates higher than the 25% prescribed by the Common External Tariff. This means that for some products, taxation may equal the initial sum paid for the product bought in a foreign country. Imports to Kenya are subject to a standard VAT rate of 16%, levied on the sum of the CIF, which is the cost, insurance and freight, value duty, and other such applicable taxes. Tariff rates between Kenya and other countries also varies according to the trade agreement forged between the country and the respective countries. For instance, importing from other East African countries usually accrues the standard VAT of 16% with no additional charges. However, importing for instance a car from Japan would accrue at least 30% of the initial cost and can go to as high as 70% of the initial cost.
And from the tidbits in our business capital, where we got to know what exactly the numbers mean for a lot of businesses looking towards importation, what challenges they have faced, and even highlighting the business of the week. Now we go to our expert who's going to tell us what exactly this means for the general business community and how exactly this is affecting the people. If you could start by introducing yourself, what is your name? What institution do you represent?
Thank you, Hibak, for having me here. My name is Marshall Nyangor. I work with a company called Zimela Asset Management, just manage post capital and trying to make sure that business is smooth in the industry.
we featured a business in this particular segment of the grind. We were seeing how some of the challenges they were experiencing in bringing products, considering the new policies that have come with the Finance Act. What exactly this means, especially for businesses. They were talking about what they had to do. One of the things that they highlighted is the biggest challenge being a lot of levies that sometimes are doubled. How has this affected the businesses coming from the Finance Act?
All this, I think the government has been trying to improve efficiency at the revenue collected in KRA. They realized there were so many loopholes in before. So they've been trying to make sure that some of these loopholes are not there. So anything that comes in the country, at least a businessman has to pay all the taxes. And of course, that means that for those who are playing fair initially, they may not really experience hardship in that particular area. But for those ones who already had some loopholes, that will be difficult for them. But overall, I would say that the increase of the VAT, of course, made importation very difficult. But I think just beyond VAT, also looking at now the cost of importation, because every time these people import this item, they import them in the foreign currencies, particularly US dollar. And in the recent past, the last 1 year alone, we have seen a depreciation of Kenyan shilling by as much as almost 25-30%. We're not looking at a dollar exchanging at 150 shillings. That all goes back to the cost of now the imported items. And the more expensive these goods are, the less that bought because now they become affordable to the buyers.
Most of these extra costs are now being pushed to the end customer. And the business that we were featuring, they were saying that some of the sales have reduced by even 60%. Do you think that maybe this could be the end of importation in the country, considering they are gaining a lot of costs?
Ideally, it will just depend on the particular item the business is dealing with. For example, a good example is second-hand clothes. That become very very big business in the country. As long as we don't have a replacement, I think it will be there because we cannot walk naked. The only question is that it will be a little bit more expensive. So maybe if I was used to buying 5 shirts in a month, I might just want to reduce and buy 3 or 2. But at the end of the day, you still have until you get a local alternative solution. Yes.
And KRA had shifted from taxing per kilo to now per item. A lot of the smaller items, they have to open up the entire thing that they have bought. What exactly does this mean for small businesses?
That's actually what I talked about earlier, where I think some people had got a loophole, and I think the government just feel that they're not collecting enough, and now they're squeezing the revenue. So those particular agencies, including KRA, have been tasked with a robust assignment of making sure that every single shilling has to go to the government coffers. And one of them now, the highlighted is now change of the policy. Actually, they are now saying that when we're talking of consolidated goods, they have to be opened, and they have to go item by item, so that they can make sure that they collect as much as possible. Overall, that again increases the cost and also increases the inconvenience in the process of importation, because now at some point even now the buyer themselves have to be involved. Initially it was the work of agent to pay them, and they clear the goods, the clearing agents. But now sometimes we have had cases where the importers have to go camp in Mombasa, just make sure that their cargoes are being cleared on time. So those inconveniences come in, but I believe that over time this should change. Once people get the hang of it, and the process will become a little bit more clear to everybody, then I think should be smoother. Yes.
One of the solutions that the Kenya Revenue Authority has come up with, especially considering that there's a lot of backlog at the port, is the e-auction. Don't you think that a lot of small businesses are now missing out on some of the goods that they have brought in?
The e-auction, I think, is a factor of many things. First of all, by the time your items are auctioned, it means that maybe the goods arrived in Mombasa, they were in the port for some period of time and could not clear them. So the KRA has to recover their taxes. So that could be a number of factors. One of them, as you said, maybe some small businesses plan to import something, then by the time they get to the country, the tax policy has changed.
Now, one of the other solutions that a lot of small businesses can now take up, which is not going into the import sector, is self-production. Of course, that has its own challenges. In your expert opinion, if you would weigh between self-production and importation, what would be better for a business?
That's a difficult question because again it just depends on if that item you're dealing with is something can produce locally. Not everything can be manufactured locally. Not everything can be produced locally. So depend on that. When we talk of, for example, fabrics, we talk of the leather. I think the trade CS has been trying to promote that area in particular. We're talking of shoes, and some point they even say that they want to ban the importation of shoes. I think maybe they could just increase the taxes to discourage importation, but you can't really ban it because again you know that we have the brands that produce that level of quality that might not be able to meet locally. So I wouldn't really say that everybody. But again, if you're in a business segment where you believe that your core items can be produced locally, then you might want to embrace that. But again, now the biggest challenge has been, I know this now a global discussion, looking at the cost of production. I look at the cost of energy locally, and that's the biggest factor when it comes to production. We are some of the most expensive energy sellers. Talk of Kenya Power, then again it's not stable. So if you compare that and where they're producing in China, where the electricity is very cheap, already there's a competitive advantage. So those are some of the areas. Of course, the ease of doing business is usually the discussion. The government has to look through that before now we can start encouraging people to produce them locally. But I like what is currently happening where the TCS has been trying to launch county aggregation and processing zones so that local people in the local communities in the county level can start producing whatever can be produced locally so that this will reduce the import gap.
And finally, any parting shot for businesses who are looking into importation?
Well, I would say that the things are currently tough, but I don't see them going better in the near future. So overall, I think I've already advised you start looking at alternative local solutions. If you are dealing with an item that can be manufactured locally, then you are much better off. And again, if you start manufacturing some of the items that we import, it's very funny, but we import things like matchstick. The iron sheet, most of them are now imported. The car tires, all those were factories that were initially in Kenya and are producing some of those items in Kenya. So we have already exported some of those jobs to India and China. They're doing there, then importing back to country. So if you can start revive the manufacturing sector and produce some of these items locally, we might not be at this pain because again now we look at an item like, for example, the car tires, if you can produce them locally at this particular difficult time, you are probably going to have advantage compared to those ones who are importing because the cost will be a little bit more expensive. So the depreciation of Kenya shilling is a disadvantage to the majority, but a big advantage to the local manufacturers. That's what I'll say.
Right. And thank you so much for coming on to the grind. That is the expert opinion of the week concerning the importation of goods, especially for small businesses, what exactly this means for them, what are some of the alternatives that they can use, what are some of the solutions that they can use. And of course, all these tidbits are to ensure that you get a chance to improve your business and the way that you conduct your business. Thank you so much for joining us on this week of the grind. I have been your host, Hibak Said.